So today's class is actually on yoga for sexual health. This class is focused on women's health. And so I want to share with you a little bit of the research that's been done on this. So there's a new study that showed women over the age of 45 who did yoga for 12 weeks experienced less pain and more pleasure. Yoga improves sexual function through several pathways. Physically, it brings more blood flow to the pelvic region. It also improves strength and flexibility. And the breath practices improve stamina and energy, and the relaxation practices help get women more in the mood. Energetically, we can focus in on the Sacral Chakra, which is our second chakra, or the Sacral Chakra. That's known as your seat of your creativity and sexuality. So these are all some of the benefits that yoga can have on keeping you vibrant sexually as you age. So in terms of what you'll need today, not a lot of extra things, maybe a block. I'm sitting up on a cushion and I have a blanket for my knees or even for under my head when I lay down. Otherwise, just yourself, obviously a yoga mat, and I'll meet you here on the mat. So we will start off in a seated pose. All right, so what I'd like for you to do, if you don't mind, is focus in on the space below your navel. Place your hands there. This is your second chakra, the Sacral Chakra, your seat of your sexuality and creativity. The actual meaning of the word Svadhisthana is the dwelling place of the self. And some other people say there's another meaning, taking pleasure in. The sacral chakra relates to your emotional and sexual energy in your body and our ability to flow with change. So I'd like for you to join me in a visualization and simple chant. Visualize a flower with 5 petals that is orange in color. As you chant, the seeds sound vam, vam, vam. So if you don't mind, close your eyes and start chanting vam, 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 vam. You should feel a vibration in this part of your body. So we're awakening up the energy in this part of our body. And then maybe you want to add an affirmation in. I'm going to give you a few and you can pick which one speaks most to you. I honor my sensual expression could be one of them. I honor my sensual expression. Or I deserve to experience pleasure and have my needs met. I deserve to experience pleasure and have my needs met. I feel safe to express my sexual self in fun, creative, and healthy ways. I feel safe to express my sexual self in fun, creative, and healthy ways. Or maybe even this one, I attract relationships with loving, good people who will support me. I attract relationships with loving, good people who will support me. So these are great affirmations that you could say at any time. And let's go ahead and start doing our movement practice. We're going to start on our knees, not our hands and knees, but just on our knees. So you might want a cushion. Go ahead and place either a blanket or some sort of cushioning under your knees. And I have my toes tucked in underneath me. They help me stay balanced, but you can flatten your feet if you prefer that. So go ahead and raise your arms up to the sky with an inhale. And now lean over to your left with an exhale. Come back to the sky with an inhale. Lean to your right with an exhale. Back to the sky with an inhale. Lean to left. Back to the sky. Lean to right. Place your arms out in goddess pose. And just feel the moon's energy. The moon's energy is feminine energy and can be very good for the sexual health of women. So go ahead and take your right leg out to the side and go over onto the side and just feel that opening. Now, if you have a block available, reach for the block with your left hand and then allow yourself to go over to this side, lengthening out your side body. Come back to the middle. Turn those feet away from you toward the narrow end of your mat and just go in and out of a warrior two. We're doing the warrior two on our knee. Now you are welcome to do any of these poses standing up. If your knees don't allow you to be on your knees, leaning over and then leaning back. Nice. Take that leg back underneath and in between the two sides, let's go ahead and do a few cat-cows. Cat-cows awakens up the whole spine and you can start to feel your pelvis in here. Breathing. All right, now come back up to your knee and let's go ahead and do the other side. So stretch your leg off to the side. First go ahead and lean toward it, maybe drawing your arm overhead. So feeling this side to side energy. Reach for the block, open up your whole side body. Just feel that. Come back to the middle. And then let's go ahead and open up our legs. So if you can see, we're working on our groin and pelvic health here. Lean over. So my foot is now facing toward the narrow end of your mat, doing a warrior two, which is very great for opening up the hips and opening up the area and bringing blood flow to this area. If you can, go ahead and gently make your way up to standing safely. And I'm going to go through a forward fold, placing the hands on my thighs, lengthening my spine, and drawing myself up safely to standing. Move anything out of your way so that you're safe on your mat. And go ahead and take your right toes and point it to the narrow end of your mat, and your left toes are slightly turned in. So the triangle pose is very good for pelvic health and very good for drawing in blood flow to this area. So very gently make your way into a triangle pose. You don't have to look up to the sky if that bothers your neck. You could look directly at me, or you could look even down at your front foot. So let's move in and out of this pose a few times. Breathing, feeling the strength and the stretching that is going on with doing the triangle pose. Turn both feet toward me. Lean over and soften here into a forward fold, shifting your weight side to side. And releasing. Placing hands on the thighs, draw the shoulders back, turn the feet slightly out for a minute, and go back into that goddess pose. So this is very good for strengthening this area of your body. And again, bringing blood flow. Setting up for triangle on the other side, have your toes, your left toes pointed to the narrow end of your mat, your right toes slightly turned in. Go into an appropriate triangle for you. You don't have to look up. On this side, I have more neck and shoulder issues, so I tend to look down at my foot, come back up to standing, go back down into the triangle pose, and feel how this is drawing energy and drawing vital blood and oxygen to this area of your body. One more time, moving in and out. One more time, go ahead and face your feet toward me. Lean over. Release any tension here. And then slowly and gently make your way down to the ground, onto your stomach. So Cobra pose can stimulate your reproductive organs and enhances circulation and lubrication to the vagina area. So join me in a Cobra pose. Very gently making your way down to your belly. Placing your hands by the side of your chest, draw your elbows in towards your chest. Just feel the massaging effect on your organs as you gently lift up. And then come on down, laying one cheek to the ground. Inhaling as you lift, exhaling the other cheek to the ground. One more time. Inhaling and exhaling. And last time, inhaling and exhaling. Now draw your legs in towards your body in a wide position. This is known as frog pose. Now I'm very careful not to go too deep into this pose, but you can imagine that the moving, shifting in and out of this pose can be very good for strengthening and stretching the groin area and drawing energy, vital energy to this area of your body. Be very gentle with yourself. Don't overdo it. Particularly be sensitive towards your knees. All right, draw your knees in toward each other. Make your way safely to a seated position. And we will do Lord of the Fishes pose, which is a twisting series. Now twists can lubricate your digestive system and draw all sorts of energy down toward this part of your body. So you can either do it with one leg out and one leg crossed over, or if you want to, you can draw the other leg back. You decide. So I'm going to leave one leg out. So I've got one leg crossed over. I'm going to sit up first straight and tall and just notice if I have both sit bones on the ground, and then take a hand behind my back and twist over the bent leg in front, twisting and releasing to the front, engaging back body muscles, twisting and releasing to the front. And third time, twisting and releasing. Release that leg. Place both hands behind your back. Shift your weight side to side. And then cross the other leg over. So if you're leaving the one leg out, you'd cross this leg over. Otherwise, you could also bend this leg back. You decide which is more appropriate for you. Sitting up straight and tall, first of all, and twist over the other leg, twisting and releasing. Inhale, twist. Exhale, let it go. Third time. Inhale, twist. Exhale, let it go. Place your hands behind your back for a moment. Windshield wiper the legs again. How are you feeling? So we've done quite a few physical asanas that draw energy and heat and attention and blood flow to this area of our body. We've also been making sure that we are both flexible and strong in that area of the body. So here's an interesting little series that I think you'll enjoy. If you know what tree looks like in the air. Well, we're going to do tree on our backs. And I'm going to have my legs to you so you see what I'm going to do with my legs. And this is actually called swimming frog instead of tree in the gentle somatic yoga tradition. You can have a cushion under your head, but you don't need to. So I'm going to start off with both legs on the ground and kind of flat down on the ground. Now, I'm going to activate one leg as if I was standing on that leg and creating a tree. The other leg, so for me, I'm activating my left leg. I'm letting my right leg just sort of relax. So when your leg relaxes, most of us, our foot will slightly turn out. So from here, I want you to drag the side of this foot up as if you're making a tree pose. Now, your knee may not be touching the ground as mine is, and it's no matter. You just go to your full range of motion. From here, I'd like all of us to take our knee up to the sky. And then with some muscular engagement, allow this knee to open to the side slowly. Keep those muscles engaged. So you can feel that we're engaging these muscles and opening things up here. Engagement, engagement, engagement. And when you get to your full range of motion, just release. Let that leg slide down. And let's do this 2 more times. Slide it up on the side so that you're in a lying down tree pose. Draw the knee up to the sky. Activate the thigh muscles. So this is a strength building, and it also draws our somatic awareness to this part of our body. Allow it to go down, go down, go down, release. So the ability to both relax and engage is very important for sexual pleasure. And then go ahead and release the leg down. Let's do the other side. So now activate this leg. For me, it's the right leg. Let the left leg loosen up. Slide it on the outer edge of the foot, allowing yourself to go into a version of tree pose. Then activate the muscles of the thigh. Squeeze as if you are engaged in trying to create some muscular effort down here in this region. And then on the way down, go slowly. Keep those muscles working, muscles working, muscles working. Then relax. Knowing the difference between relaxation and engagement is very important. Go ahead and release that foot down. Let's do it one more time, drawing it up. Engage those muscles. Feel the work here. Feel the whole pelvic area get involved in the hip area, as well as the leg. Slowly draw it down. Slowly, 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 slowly. Release. Let it go. Draw that foot down. Now, one time, let's do both. So drawing up as if you're doing a cobbler pose. Activate both legs, the inner thigh muscles. Draw those legs together. Keep those muscles activated and engaged as you open, open, open. When you get to your fullest range of motion, release, soften, and just draw it down. So, one pose that is very, very effective for enhancing your enjoyment, as long as you don't have trauma associated with this pose, would be happy baby. So you would reach for your feet, or maybe your calves, or maybe even your knees, and just soften this whole area. Now, if this causes too much pain under your back, you can always cushion under here. Oh, here's my cushion. So you could take a cushion and slide it underneath your low back, and then put your hips up even higher and go into your happy baby that way. So once again, just allowing yourself to relax and enjoy. Can you relax here? Is this a safe spot for you to just let go? Breathe. Ah. So how are you feeling? I hope you have enjoyed this class. I want you to settle down into some sort of rest pose, whatever feels really good and restful to you now. And I have a beautiful poem today about self-love. And I think it's very important to feel vibrant, creative, and a sensual being, to actually love yourself. And it's often our life just diminishes that lovely feeling toward ourselves. So close your eyes, relax. I'll ring my bell at the beginning and the end of this reading. And we don't know the author of this poem, but I really love it. She sat at the back, and they said she was shy. She led from the front, and they hated their pride. They asked her advice and then questioned her guidance. They branded her loud, then were shocked by her silence. When she shared no ambition, they said it was sad. So she told them her dreams, and they said she was mad. They told her they'd listen, then covered their ears and gave her a hug while they laughed at her fears. And she listened to all of it, thinking she should be the girl they told her to be, the best as she could. But one day she asked what was best for herself, instead of trying to please everyone else. So she walked to the forest and stood with the trees. She heard the wind whisper and dance with the leaves. She spoke to the willow, the elm, and the pine, and she told them what she had been told time after time. She told them she felt she was never enough. She was either too little or far, far too much. Too loud or too quiet, too fierce or too weak, too wise or too foolish, too bold or too meek. Then she found a small clearing surrounded by firs, and she stopped, and she heard what the trees said to her. And she sat there for hours, not wanting to leave, for the forest said nothing, it just let her breathe. So just breathe into your second chakra and know that you are whole, you are enough, there's no need to be perfect, you are beautiful. And when you do that, you will feel that you can be more active in a sensual way. So very gently and carefully come up to a seated position and gather any parts of this class that were helpful to you. Join me as we say Namaste together. I'm Andrea,